There are sayings we often hear and repeat, fully convinced they're direct quotes from Jesus or straight from the Bible. But what if I told you that some of the most popular biblical phrases aren't biblical at all? In fact, many of them twist the message of Jesus and completely miss the heart of his teachings. Today, we're uncovering the truth behind two of the most common misquotes about Jesus and revealing the powerful lessons he truly shared. Get ready, because what you're about to discover might completely change how you understand his words. Some might ask, does it really matter if people misquote Jesus? The answer is a resounding yes, and here's why. Misquotes distort the gospel. They can create false expectations, leading to disappointment when those expectations aren't met. Jesus' teachings center on truth, grace, and transformation, and twisting his words risks obscuring the profound meaning of his message. Sharing misquoted sayings can mislead others about what it truly means to follow Jesus. So, let's uncover these misquotes together to ensure you'll never misunderstand them again. Misquote number 1. God will never give you more than you can handle. This one gets thrown around a lot, especially when life feels overwhelming. People mean well when they say it, but let's get something straight. Jesus never said this. The idea probably comes from 1 Corinthians 10:13, which says, God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, he will also provide a way out so that you can endure it. However, this verse is about temptation, not about the burdens of life. Nowhere does it promise that life's challenges will always feel manageable. In fact, Jesus taught quite the opposite. He said in John 16:33, "In this world you will have trouble. But take heart, I have overcome the world." Life will overwhelm us at times. The truth is, God allows us to face more than we can handle so that we learn to rely on him. Paul himself admitted this in 2 Corinthians 1:8-9. We were under great pressure, far beyond our ability to endure, but this happened that we might not rely on ourselves, but on God. So, what's the takeaway? Instead of saying, God will never give you more than you can handle, let's remind each other, God will help you handle whatever life gives you. Wouldn't it be nice if Jesus promised an easy life for his followers? But the reality is, he never did. In Matthew 16:24, Jesus actually said something much harder. Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. Taking up a cross is not a picture of comfort or ease. It's a call to sacrifice, surrender, and sometimes even suffering. Following Jesus often means walking against the grain of the world, standing up for what's right, and facing challenges head-on. But here's the beautiful part. While Jesus never promised an easy life, he did promise his presence. In Matthew 28:20 he said, "Surely I am with you always, to the very end of the age." And let's not forget his words in Matthew 11:28-30. "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." Notice that Jesus doesn't say, "I'll remove all your burdens." Instead, he offers rest and strength to carry them. So, the next time someone implies that following Jesus means smooth sailing, remember this. Jesus never promised an easy life, but he promised a meaningful one. Misquote number 2. Love your friends and forget your enemies. This one's sneaky because it aligns with how we naturally think. Love those who love us and ignore, or even hate, those who don't. But Jesus' teaching was radically different. In Matthew 5:43-44, Jesus said, "You have heard that it was said, 'Love your neighbor and hate your enemy.' But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you." Did you catch that? Love your enemies. Pray for the people who hurt you. Forgive those who have wronged you. This isn't natural or easy, but it's one of the most powerful ways we can reflect God's love. And why does Jesus ask us to love our enemies? He explains in verse 45, that you may be children of your Father in heaven. He causes his sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. God's love is unconditional, and as his followers, we're called to love in the same way. This doesn't mean we excuse bad behavior or stay in harmful situations, but it does mean we let go of hate and bitterness. Forgiveness frees us, and love transforms us. But here's the good news. Jesus' actual teachings are far more powerful than any misquote. His words challenge us, comfort us, and guide us toward a deeper relationship with God. They remind us that life is hard, but God is faithful. Following Jesus requires sacrifice, but it leads to true joy. Loving others, even our enemies, reflects God's heart. Let's commit to knowing his words more deeply and sharing them more accurately. As Jesus said in John 8:31-32, "If you hold to my teaching, you are really my disciples. Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." Now we want to hear from you. What misquotes have you heard about Jesus? Share them in the comments below. Let's start a conversation about what he really said and how his true words can change our lives. And if this message touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear the truth about Jesus today. May God bless you abundantly.